Good afternoon, a very warm welcome to Citizen Live at 1. I am Terry Ann Chibet. Now, transaction of business in the National Assembly was disrupted for the better part of the morning as members of Parliament began to scrutinise and introduce amendments to the controversial security bill. The Speaker of the National Assembly, Justin Muturi, was forced to suspend business for half an hour to cool down tempers. There was near fights as opposition MPs engaged their Jubilee counterparts keen on passing through the amendments at a committee stage. Officers from the Sergeant-at-Arms had a difficult time trying to ensure that business is not disrupted. Our reporters Kendagor Obadiah and Jackie Maribe now join us live from Parliament to give us an update of exactly what's going on there. Kendagor and Jackie, over to you.
Yes, indeed, it has been quite the interesting morning here at Parliament buildings. The special sitting of the National Assembly has now been adjourned twice this morning. We are waiting for them to come back at 2:30. But as we have said again, it has been quite an interesting morning, hasn't it been, Kendagor?
Well, what a way to end this year's session for the National Assembly. This was supposed to be the final sitting for the year, and a special sitting for that matter, a day where a very controversial bill was going to be debated and finally maybe rejected or adopted, but that couldn't happen because of the kind of drama that we witnessed today. It all started with interventions by the opposition court trying to stop the process, raising a point of order after another, trying to disrupt the session so that it doesn't go through, because they had vowed beginning yesterday that they would not allow this bill to go through because they thought it is a bad bill for this country.
Exactly, indeed. And yesterday, Kendagor, we were able to cover that meeting by the Opposition Coalition Court. And the leader of that meeting, Senator Moses Wetangula, saying that every single member in the opposition had been instructed to reject every single clause, therefore the bill in its entirety. That has not happened. They said yesterday that they have a secret weapon. Kendagor, did they have one secret weapon or many as we have seen today?
If you ask me, Jackie, the court members had more than one weapons. First of all, they began with interventions. You know, when you raise a lot of interventions on the floor of the House, the Speaker is forced to, from time to time, interrupt the proceedings. And they began, Babu Namwamba, first of all, rose on a point of order asking the Speaker to rule on whether it is in order to barricade roads coming to Parliament, heavy security presence. He said that was intimidating members. They were being harassed as they came in. Those are allegations by Babu Namwamba. And I know we have those pictures. We have pictures of police around here. Parliament Road, Harambe Avenue, and other roads leading to Parliament were barricaded by heavy security forces who had anticipated there would be protests from Wananchi. Remember, CORD had indicated that one of their weapons was to use they have a hashtag in the Twitter saying Occupy Parliament. Members of public actually coming into Parliament and making it impossible for members to come in and proceed with the proceedings. And so that is one of the ways they were trying to disrupt this. Number two was the point of orders being raised. There were about 5 of them. One was by Babu Namwamba, the second one by Junet Mohammed, the third one by Honorable Mbadi, and we also had the final one being done by the leader of minority. All these were being done on the floor of the House just to make sure that the process doesn't go on. And then the Speaker, Justin Muturi, overruled each and every point of order raised by the opposition members. And that is where now they decided that even when Kamama, the chairman for Administration and National Security, was moving the amendments, we had one first clause being endorsed, the second one being approved, but when they were moving to the third one, that is where the chairman, the new chairman of ODM, none other than John Mbadi, walked across the floor and grabbed the paper that Kamama had, pulled it down, and that's how they started.
And of course, we have pictures for you on that. We will just let those pictures run now from studio. Of course, you know, when this happened, interrupting immediately House business. If we can get those pictures now for you.
As many as of a contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it.
call order now.
Order. Order, members. Let the speaker come. Let the speaker come. Let the speaker come. Let the speaker. Members.
Quite a disorder there.
All right, and we go back again now to these secret weapons that they were speaking of, Kendagor. We saw last week members attempting to remove the mace from chambers. Now, there cannot be any official sitting of the House if that mace is not there. And House Speaker Justin Muturi took a lot of time to explain the consequences of anyone attempting to take away that mace. This had already, been indicated by a lot of people in the opposition that whether or not they will be trying to derail House business, that would have been a point of interest, removing the mace. Kendagor, we saw a lot of sergeant-at-arms there trying to protect the mace so that members would not bring it out. But did you read mischief into the kind of laughter? There was a lot of laughter inside in chambers as that issue was being brought up by House Speaker Justin Muturi.
Well, that was taken by the opposition, Jackie, as another tactic by the ruling coalition, that is the Jubilee coalition, using the Speaker of the House to curtail what they wanted to achieve. And the communication by the Speaker, together with the kind of measures that he said, the consequences a member would face if they attempted to grab that mace, tells you that it had to act as a scarecrow so that members of the opposition would not touch it. And in fact, there were dire consequences because he said anybody who would grab it would be suspended, and that suspension for 28 days. Remember, that is like missing several sessions. If you miss, then
there are also consequences
yes,
for that.
You will lose your seat automatically. And that happened. That happened last week, but the Speaker said that is still in investigations. They are looking at the clips to see who exactly grabbed that mace, and they will apply that rule. But that notwithstanding, the opposition did not look at that as a threat to deter them. They went ahead and attempted to move closer, but then because that happened last week, you saw sergeant-at-arms now standing around it and guarding it. It was the safest thing in that house today. And let me just draw your attention to something that was a bit external, but also caused the adjournment, the second adjournment, because we had the first one. After the first chaos, the Speaker ruled that the House adjourns for 30 minutes, and then they were to come back at 11:35. At 11:35, when they came back, there were senators seated at the gallery.
Exactly.
And these senators were Johnston Mudama, Moses Wetangula, Boni Khalwale, and James Orengo, together with Omar Hassan. They were seated at the gallery and chanting slogans to praise the CORD members who are opposing this bill. And what happened was some members from the Jubilee coalition walked up to the gallery and roughed them up. And they wanted to pull them out of the chambers, and that resulted to another chaos. There were members running up and down every corridor. You will find members. There was a fight between the members of the CORD coalition and the Jubilee coalition, and that now resulted in the adjournment, the second adjournment. We do not know what will happen after this. We don't know whether they are going back to discuss this bill, but what we're hoping is that there will be some decorum at the second session so that they move forward. Remember, there's another business. Now I'll let you speak about that, the other business.
Exactly. Before we go to that, Kendagor, of course, this raises questions on members of parliament, honorable members of parliament, acting not so honorably after all. And these are some of the things that we had been able to hear yesterday when members of the opposition were told that each of them must stand together and oppose this bill. We did understand from early morning that these senators would actually come into the House, sit in the gallery, able to ensure that that rule is enforced among the opposition. But again, as you're saying, Kendagor, there is also the all-important matter of the Nkaissery vetting.
Well.
Now, Majority Leader Aden Duale was able to present a paper, or rather a report from the Committee on Appointments that was able to vet Nkaissery last week. Remember, he is the presidential nominee to head the all-important Interior docket. He will be replacing Joseph Olelenku. Now, it might also be an extremely long day for Nkaissery today. This could very well have been his last day sitting in this House, but with what we have seen, will they be able, Kendagor, to handle both matters, that of Nkaissery and that of the Security Laws Amendment Bill?
Jackie, if there's a man who is crossing his fingers and praying that this parliament restores its decorum to begin deliberating on these matters, is Joseph Nkaissery. I met him in the corridors before we came here, and Nkaissery is waiting for Parliament to start debating his report. The report was tabled this morning by the leader of Majority, Aden Duale. Members have it, and looking at the way members are receiving it, I have talked to members from both sides of the coalition, and they are saying they have no problem with that. That is going to sail through. In fact, there was a proposal by Junet Mohammed who said, let's adjourn this security bill thing and debate Nkaissery's appointment. Then approve him because we need the CS for Interior Ministry like yesterday because of the kind of security situation in the country. But looking at the way things are moving, we have about 107 amendments to go through. Remember, they are going clause by clause, and they'll be voting clause after clause. There will be acclamation. Sometimes they may have to go to division, depending on how contentious the clause is. And so that alone might take us the whole session of the afternoon. So if at all they are going to debate Nkaissery, then I don't expect us to be through before midnight.
And of course, you know, this is a matter that they could easily have dispensed with earlier in the morning before things turned chaotic. And Kendagor, these two issues are actually intertwined. We need someone to head that all-important security docket. And there's also the debate of the structural changes to security laws. Now, can they pass one and leave the other? I remember there was a suggestion that this debate can as well be done on Tuesday, finally, as we wind up, Kendagor.
Remember, this is a report, Jackie. If you want to approve a bill, the bill is approved as amended. If they want to, they cannot say now at this stage, they cannot say let's strike out this contentious issue and deal with this, because number one, they don't have consensus. They cannot even sit to agree. If they can't sit to agree, then nothing will happen in that bill. And remember, at the end of the day, the question will be they adopt the bill as amended. You get what I mean?
Yes.
So they will not be saying let us remove this and pass one law and say this is not the bill, but we're just passing one law out of this bill. No, it can't work like that. They've got to go through all the amendments, make amendments, and the amendments, remember, entails even deleting some clauses. If they want to delete a clause, they'll just delete. But at the end of the day, the bill has to be brought to the floor of the House on the third reading. The motion mover moves, and then members will debate and pass it or reject it as a bill.
All right, and so we will be here, Kendagor Obadiah and myself, Jackie Maribe, to bring you up to speed with the developments as we get them. 2:30 p.m. when the House comes back. Kendagor, will they be back in camera or will it be open to the public, of course, through us, the media?
Looking at the way things are, remember when they came back after the first adjournment, every channel was switched off. The channel for Bunge TV, KBC was also off air. Every other media that is allowed to transmit live proceedings was shut out. And so we don't expect them coming back live. But then we are expected to, they will allow members of the media to go to the gallery and maybe just watch without cameras because of reasons best known to them. It's their own thing. The House, of course, Parliament makes its own decisions on whether they want to go live or not. But then we'll be here to give you live, proceedings as they go, and we'll be able to share with you what has transpired here in our subsequent bulletins beginning from 7 o'clock this evening and 9 o'clock.
Indeed.